First of all, Sonny, what do you say to the gentleman who was just speaking, that he thinks there's something odd about the way this has progressed?
I would agree with that. I mean, oftentimes police officers, of course, have the authority and the ability to arrest based on probable cause, if there's probable cause that they believe a crime occurred. So the fact that they would call the on-duty prosecutor, and I've been that on-duty prosecutor. I mean, you're sort of the charging prosecutor. You're sitting at the U.S. Attorney's office or at the DA's office, and you wait for those calls. And sometimes you're on call for 24 hours, or you're on call for 12 hours, and you then are making the charging decision. That doesn't always happen. I mean, oftentimes, especially seasoned police officers, they feel pretty confident whether or not they have probable cause. I mean, that's what they're trained to do. So I would agree that if an arrest wasn't made and they're calling the prosecutor's office to determine whether or not there's probable cause, that's odd to me. That's striking.
Well, they said that there wasn't enough evidence. The state attorney said this, and I'm thinking, well, a kid's dead. There was an alleged struggle between them. What evidence does a state attorney need to establish charges?
Well, you know, when you're talking about, let's make it clear, an arrest is different from bringing charges, right?
Thank you for the clarification.
If you have an arrest, that's based on probable cause, and that's a really low threshold, Christy. I mean, people get arrested for disorderly conduct. They get arrested for all sorts of things. And then typically that case is brought to the U.S. Attorney's office or to the DA's office, and then a charging decision is made. And you know, when you file a case, you've got to prove your case beyond a reasonable doubt. And we talk about that on In Session all the time. That threshold is here. But the fact remains that the police felt that they were prohibited by the law, at least that was the statement by the Sanford Police Department, from charging George Zimmerman. I've reviewed this case, and Christy, you know, I've been following this from the very beginning because the Trayvon Martin family attorneys reached out to me. I know these attorneys. And I think what we're all surprised at is that an arrest hasn't been made. I mean, it just, that strikes me as odd. And I will also say that I spoke to Representative Baxley, who drafted the Stand Your Ground law, and he told me that in his view, it was clear that an arrest wasn't prohibited by the law that he pushed through because he felt that the Stand Your Ground law rather didn't apply in this case. So when you look at it from a legal perspective, it just does seem odd. The facts and circumstances surrounding this case are odd.